Pork brisket on a pellet grill. Yeah, I said pork brisket. So roll out that pellet grill and grab a jar of mustard, Brian. We're gonna amplify some backyard barbecue fun. I didn't do much prep work to these pork briskets, just trimmed off a little bit of fat and patted them dry with some paper towel. I picked these up from Porter Road and they only sell pastured meat. They're by-sourcing their product from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Pennsylvania. They hand-cut all of their meat in their own facilities and then distribute them to you. There's no hormones or antibiotics pumped into this meat, so basically, it's the good stuff. I'm gonna use a binder today on these briskets, and I'm using the Brew City Beer Mustard Rub. It's got a little bit of garlic in it, and that's gonna go well with the other flavors that I'm adding to it. Take a spoon, dab a little bit on here, on each of them, and a little more. Just rub this in. Gonna be a little messy. And I'm gonna try out this king shallot because it's got some black garlic in it. Coat it up a little bit. I can see that black garlic. And I did take a spoonful of it and try it, and wow. Then I'm gonna add just a little bit of this Jackpot Carolina Gold because this is so good on pork. And obviously that's gonna blend in well with that mustard slather. I'm gonna get some coarse black pepper on this backside. You know me, I love black pepper. Now this side obviously looks like a brisket because there's our point and here's our flat. And we'll just repeat with all these other seasonings. Now you'll be able to find a link in the description below for both these companies, Porter Road and PS Seasoning. Now you don't have to follow the same seasoning that I'm using, but I like a good mustard-based flavor on pork. But use whatever you like. While these set and sweat, we'll get our pellet grill fired up. For today's cook, I'm using Apple Blend from Lumberjack Pellets. Oh, it's so easy to fill up this hopper. And today I'm going to be running my Lone Star grills at 275 degrees. Right there. Donger's a little crooked today. I got to remember that I switch angles of where I hang that donger because he's starting to get a curve. The Lone Star grills is all preheated. Let's get these pork briskets under some smoke. Now I'm going to put these right in the center of this pit and the thicker end facing the fire pot. I get my probes in, and I'm using my small probe needles today because these are perfect to do little thin cuts like this. And we'll stick this one in right about here to give us that reading. Now I'm gonna rotate these about every hour and monitor the cook on my Fireboard app. And if it starts looking a little dry, I will spritz it with just a little bit of plain water. I'm a little over 1 hour into this cook and the smaller pork brisket is reading 126 degrees. The bigger one, 116. So I'm gonna change these around a little bit. I'm gonna use a second rack. We're gonna actually get this one out, put the bigger one over here, spin this one around, and we'll set this one like this. This way the bigger one might be able to catch that 10 degrees compared to the smaller one. On the Lone Star grills, there's about a 10-degree difference from right to left. So we'll back this down to 250 degrees. I'll see you when we start developing a good bark. After those two little piggy briskets leveled off at 150 degrees, I went back and turned the Lone Star Grill's pellet grill back up to 275 degrees. I'm 4 hours and 15 minutes into the cooking these little piggy briskets. Let's give them a look. Oh yeah, the bark is starting to look pretty good on this. It's set. We'll take this probe out for right now. And same with this little cutie pie. So we'll grab this one out and we're just gonna place it right in this pan. Same with this one. Set that one right here. I've been heating this Central Waters Honey Blonde Ale up just for our braising. Pop a top again, and we're just gonna pour a little of this beer right around the edge a little bit. Ooh, extra steam. Also known as alcohol abuse. Get my probes in so I have a reading and I don't have to take off the foil. Then I'm just gonna cover it up with a little bit of aluminum foil and that'll help our braising process. Obviously you can see why I'm using the donger. Gets pretty smoky in here when that pit door is open. I'm just under 6 hours on this cook and we're reading about 206 to 207 on those piggy briskets. Get in here and check them out for some probe tenderness. Oh yeah, these are butter. For sure. So what I'm gonna do for resting these is I'm just taking off this aluminum foil and we're just gonna shut down the Lone Star grills and let this bark stiffen up again. I'm gonna let them rest for about a half an hour to 45 minutes and that's gonna help that bark set and then I'll meet you by the cutting board. These little piggies have rested, and it's time to slice them up. I really like the bark that I was able to develop off from that PSC's mustard rub, and along with some of that king shallot and some black pepper. Take this bigger one. Now, they're not very huge when you're all said and done, but let's slice it right kind of in the middle and see what we got. We certainly got a smoke ring, and there's still some steam coming off from them, but let's just slice it like you would a brisket. Get another one. That was a little thick. Developed a pretty good bark on the bottom. Certainly drew in a bunch of that beer from the brazen. This is crazy tender. It's like butter. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. That's not a fat bark. It's moist and it's tender, and I got a great bark. That's barbecue, but the point on this, it melts in your mouth. I'm not a meat squeezer or anything like that, but when I just grab this to cut it, it's amazing all the moisture that's coming out of that bite. This is a novelty cut, but if you've been thinking about trying a pork brisket, do it. Use my link below. Save yourself a few bucks. So good. Well, that's all I got. Roll the nation. You gotta try a piece of this. It's like butter. It just melts right in your mouth. Pretty good. Crazy.